Standing just outside a run-down concrete building in an enormous desert of concrete, Captain Timothy Oriceran glanced impatiently at his watch. "Thought they'd be all get up and go about today," he murmured, then pulled his sunglasses out of his front pocket, unfolded them with a quick flick of his wrist, and slid them on. At 6:56 a.m., the sun had been up for almost an hour, but had yet to rise above the 15-foot concrete wall. The wall surrounded a highly secured area in the remote corner of Fort Carson, where the captain had spent the last few weeks. It should have been easy for Oriceran to spot the 3 newly trained and assigned MP recruits for whom he was currently responsible, if his new MPs were human. For the first time in his 12 years of service, the man was bringing Oriceran magicals into the fold of military policing. For the first time in Earth's history, magicals had officially entered a military program to work alongside human personnel. And they'd started with these 3. After another glance at his watch, Oriceran scanned the glistening gray expanse some of the checkpoint guards referred to as the Void. Oriceran couldn't blame them for feeling that way. They had been selected for and assigned to their current posts because their commanders thought they could handle being close to the middle of nowhere. None of them knew how long they'd be here. The only thing they knew was that surveilling and guarding the Void was their job for as long as it was going to take to get the new Oriceran integration program off the ground. Of course, they also had to have a strong constitution when it came to witnessing things a soldier didn't normally see on a military base, like magic and the complicated red tape issues that came with those beings who could use it. Things like 3 new recruits, not dressed to Army regulation, with wings, and flashing lights, and an incredibly warped concept of what being an Army soldier and a military law enforcement officer entailed. When I told them they were ready, those Pixies threw a goddamn party out here, and now they've failed to report for the biggest day of this whole damn program so far. What the hell are they up to? With a heavy sigh, Oriceran pulled out his cell phone and scrolled through his contacts for the number of the one commander he had permission to call for something like this. He tapped it and lifted the phone to his ear. Despite the lack of natural greenery, a surprisingly large number of birds still made their nests in and on top of the high security wall, the gun parapets, and just beneath the shingles of the neglected buildings Captain Oriceran had been given the use of. The sound of birds still twittering as the sun rose, mixed with the phone call's first ring in his ear, wasn't all that unusual. What was unusual, however, was the low buzz of something whizzing right past his head.